If you put on this ring, you will be the richest man of your time.
The richest man?
Yes, the richest.
In the shadow of the towering glass skyscrapers that pierce the hazy dawn sky of Abuja, Nigeria's bustling capital, a young man named Chidi Okoro hurried through the narrow alleyways of the old market district. The air was thick with the scent of fried plantains and diesel fumes from passing Okadas, those daring motorcycle taxis that weaved like serpents through the chaos. Chidi, a 28-year-old accountant fresh out of university, clutched his worn leather briefcase, his mind racing with the weight of unpaid bills and a family depending on him back in the village. Little did he know, this ordinary morning would twist into a tale of fortune, folly, and the fragile line between greed and gratitude, a story that whispers warnings to all who listen. But before we dive deeper, imagine this: an ancient ring, whispered to hold the power, where, when you wear it on, nobody will be richer than you in your country. Sounds too good to be true. Stick around because this folktale unfolds with twists that will keep you on the edge. And hey, if you're hooked already, hit that subscribe button right now. Don't forget to like and comment below where you're watching from. Is it Lagos, New York, or Nairobi? Let me know, and let's make this community grow. Chidi's day began like any other in Abuja's unforgiving grind. He had risen at 5 a.m. in his cramped one-room apartment in the suburb of Garki, where the rent was sky-high and the electricity flickered like a teasing spirit. His mother, Mama Ngozi, had called the night before from their hometown in Enugu, her voice crackling over the poor network. "Chidi, my son, when will you send money? Your sister's school fees are due." He promised, as always, but his salary at the small auditing firm barely covered his own survival. As he navigated the crowded streets, dodging street hawkers selling everything from recharge cards to roasted corn, Chidi's thoughts drifted to dreams of wealth, mansions, cars, a life where he could lift his family out of poverty. It was near the Woos market where vendors shouted bargains and the sun glinted off piles of colorful fabrics that Chidi bumped into the old man. He was ancient, his skin wrinkled like dried palm leaves, dressed in a faded agbada that spoke of better days. The man sat on a low stool beside a stole of trinkets, beads, amulets, and rings that caught the light like forgotten stars. "Young man," the elder croaked, his eyes sharp despite the years, "you look like one burdened by the world's weight. Come, sit." Chidi hesitated, glancing at his watch. He was late for work, but something in the man's gaze pulled him in. "Baba," Chidi said respectfully, using the Yoruba term for elder, though he was Igbo, "I don't have time for stories today." The old man chuckled, a sound like rustling leaves. "Stories? Ah, but life is a story, my boy, and yours is about to change." He reached into a small pouch and pulled out a simple gold ring, etched with faint symbols that seemed to shimmer unnaturally. "This ring has been in my family for generations. It comes from the spirits of our ancestors, forged in the fires of ancient Benin bronzes, or so the tales say. Wear it, and nobody in this vast Nigeria will be richer than you. Wealth will flow like the Niger River. Opportunities lock fortunes beyond your dreams." Chidi's heart skipped. "Baba, you're joking. Such things don't exist in this modern world." The old man's face grew serious, his voice dropping to a whisper. "It is no joke, but heed my warning. Do not take it off, no matter what. The ring binds to your fate. Remove it, and the spirits will reclaim what is theirs, with interest." He pressed the ring into Chidi's palm, his grip surprisingly strong. "Take it as my gift. I am old. My time is short. Use it wisely." Before Chidi could protest, the man vanished into the crowd, leaving only the ring's warm weight in his hand. Skeptical but intrigued, Chidi slipped it on his right index finger. It fit perfectly, as if made for him. Shaking his head, he hurried to work, dismissing it as an old fool's prank. That afternoon, everything changed. At the office, his boss called him in. Chidi, we've got a big client, an oil tycoon from Port Harcourt. He wants you on the audit team. Double your salary, effective immediately. Chidi stared, dumbfounded. By evening, his phone buzzed with a notification. A long forgotten lottery ticket he'd bought months ago had won N5 million. As he walked home, a street vendor insisted on giving him free akara, claiming Chidi looked like good luck. Lying in bed that night, Chidi twisted the ring on his finger, a mix of excitement and unease bubbling inside. Wealth was coming, but at what cost? Weeks turned into months, and Chidi's life transformed like a Nollywood blockbuster. The ring's promise held true. No one in Nigeria seemed richer than him, at least in the opportunities that flooded his way. He quit his job and started his own consulting firm, Okoro Wealth Advisors, in a sleek office in Maitama, Abuja's elite district. Clients poured in, politicians from the National Assembly, businessmen from Kano's textile empires, even celebrities from Lagos's film industry. His bank account swelled from thousands to millions of naira, then billions. Chidi bought a mansion in Asokoro with marble floors and a fleet of SUVs in the garage. He sent money home. Mama Ngozi got a new house in Enugu. His sister Ada enrolled in a private university in Abuja. Friends like his childhood buddy Emeka marveled at his luck. Chidi, how? You were struggling last year, Emeka asked over jollof rice at a high-end restaurant. It's just hard work, bro, Chidi lied, fingering the ring under the table. But doubts crept in. Strange things happened. Dreams of whispering shadows, a feeling of being watched. One night he tried to remove the ring. For a shower, it wouldn't budge, as it fused to his skin. Remembering the old man's warning, he left it on, heart pounding. Tension built when a rival businessman, Victor Adebayo from Lagos, accused Chidi of undercutting deals. You're rising too fast, Okoro. Something's off. Victor's eyes narrowed at the ring during a heated meeting. Chidi laughed it off, but inside fear gnawed. Emotional highs came with family reunions. Mama Ngozi wept tears of joy, hugging him. God has blessed you, my son. Yet, entertainment laced the drama. Chidi hosted lavish parties, dancing to Afrobeat with models and influencers. Life was a thrill, but the ring's weight grew heavier. Hey, if this rise to riches has you gripped, pause and subscribe now. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Abuja like our hero or somewhere far like London? Your support keeps these stories coming. As Chidi's empire grew, so did the whispers. In Abuja's social circles, rumors spread like wildfire. That Okoro boy has juju, people said, referring to black magic. Chidi ignored them, focusing on his next big venture, investing in oil blocks in the Niger Delta. But emotional turmoil hit when Ada, his sister, fell ill with a mysterious fever. Doctors in Abuja's best hospitals couldn't diagnose it. It's like her energy is draining, one said. Chidi visited her bedside, the ring glinting mockingly. Brother, what's happening? Ada whispered, her eyes weak. It's nothing, sis. I'll fix it. But in his heart, he wondered if the ring was exacting a price. Tension escalated during a trip to Port Harcourt for a deal. There, in the humid air thick with oil refinery smells, he met an old woman at a local shrine. That ring, she gasped, pointing. It belongs to the spirits. They give, but they take. Chidi fled, but the encounter shook him. Back in Abuja, he confided in Emeka. Man, this thing, it's real, but I can't take it. Off! Emeka laughed nervously. You're scaring me. Just try. Chidi pulled. Nothing. Panic set in, dramatic as a storm. That night, shadows danced in his room, voices murmuring warnings. To lighten the mood, Chidi threw a comedy night at his mansion, inviting stand-up acts from Lagos. Laughter echoed, but his smile was forced. Wealth brought suitors. Lara, the journalist, entered Chidi's life at a gala in Abuja. Beautiful, sharp-witted, with a smile that lit up rooms, she interviewed him for a magazine. "What's your secret, Mr. Okoro?" "Persistence," he said, charmed. They dated, her presence a balm to his growing anxiety. But Lara noticed the ring. "Why don't you ever take it off?" "It's sentimental." Lies piled up, creating tension. Emotional depth came when Chidi proposed under the stars, ring, his wedding one, in hand, but the magic ring stayed on. Meanwhile, Victor Adebayo plotted revenge, hiring investigators. "Find his weakness," Victor snarled in his Lagos penthouse. Chidi's business boomed, entertaining with yacht parties on the Atlantic, but realism grounded it. Taxes, corruption scandals in Nigerian politics threatening his deals. CTA time, loving the drama. Subscribe for more tales like this. Drop a comment. Where are you tuning in from? Share with friends to spread the magic. The first major crack came when Mama Ngozi visited. "Chidi, this wealth, it's not natural. I dream of ancestors angry." "Mama, it's fine." But that night a fire broke out in his warehouse. Arson, suspected Victor. Losses mounted, but the ring fixed it. Insurance paid double mysteriously. Emotional peak. Ada recovered, but blamed Chidi. "Your luck is cursing us." Tension with Lara. She found old man's tales online, confronting him. "Is this ring some artifact?" Dramatic chase. Chidi fled to Enugu, seeking the old man, Gone. Entertaining twist. A comic sidekick, a streetwise driver named Tunde, joins for laughs. Chidi became Nigeria's richest undercharity, per Forbes Africa. Parties in Abuja rivaled those in Dubai. But isolation grew, friends envied, family distanced, realistic elements, dealing with EFCC probes, bribery attempts, emotional, loneliness, missing simple life. Dramatic, Victor kidnaps Emeka, demanding the ring. Rescue scene tense with gunfights in Lagos slums. Entertaining, celebrity cameos, like Davido performing at his birthday. Desperate, Chidi tried cutting the ring off. Blood, pain, but it healed instantly. Spirits appeared in visions, warning, "Do not remove." Lara left heartbroken. "This thing is destroying you." Tension builds to emotional breakdown. City A. If this emotional roller coaster has you teary, subscribe now. Comment your location. Let's connect globally. Wealth reversed. Deals collapsed. Stocks plummeted. Ada's illness returned worse. Chidi confronted Victor in Port Harcourt. Fight, revelations. Victor had a similar artifact, lost. Dramatic escape, entertaining betrayals. Chidi sought shamans in Benin City, rituals tense and emotional. Realistic, Nigerian cultural blends, modern skepticism. Back in Abuja, spirits demanded sacrifice. Chidi removes ring, agony, wealth vanishes. Emotional reunion with family. Penniless but free, Chidi rebuilds honestly. Lara returns. Dramatic twist. Old man reappears. Explains lesson. Life normalizes with entertaining reflections on greed. Inspired. Subscribe and comment where from. The first rays of January 2026 sun filtered through the thin curtains of Chidi Okoro's modest flat in GRA Phase 2, Port Harcourt. It was New Year's Day, and the air hung heavy with the remnants of last night's fireworks, acrid smoke mingling with the humid promise of rain. Outside, neighbors swept their compounds, children laughed in the streets, and distant church bells rang out hymns of renewal. But for Chidi, renewal felt like a fragile truce. The warehouse ritual on December 30th, 2025 had left him drained, his bare finger a constant reminder of the ring's absence. Lara stared beside him, her hand finding his in the dim light.
Happy New Year, my love.
She
Happy New
whispered,
Year, sweetheart.
pulling him close. "We're free, Chidi, truly." He nodded, but doubt lingered. The old man's words echoed, "The balance is not yet complete." Chidi rose, brewing strong black tea on the gas stove as the ceiling fan hummed overhead. Port Harcourt was awakening slowly. Post-holiday sluggishness evident in the fewer Okadas zipping through the streets. FM radios blared President Tinubu's New Year message. In this year of renewed hope, we project inflation below 15%, Naira stability at N1 to 400 to the dollar, and reserves climbing to $50 billion. Minimum wage at N70,000 will empower our workers. Chidi listened half-heartedly. His own finances were modest. The consulting gig at the engineering firm paid just enough for rent and basics, with CNG fuel prices easing the burden on their old Toyota. By afternoon, they walked to the waterfront near Bonny River, where massive tankers loomed like silent guardians. The heat climbed to 33 degrees, sweat beading on their skin. Lara squeezed his hand. "What now?" "We live," Chidi said simply. But that evening, a WhatsApp message from Victor Adebayo shattered the calm. "The rings are cooling, but the dreams aren't. Meet me January 5th. We need to talk restitution." Chidi's heart raced. The circle's echoes were far from silent. January 2nd brought work resumption. Chidi audited oil service contracts in Trans-Amadi, the industrial home of generators and machinery, a stark contrast to his former lavish office. Colleagues chatted about holiday feasts and resolutions, losing weight, saving more amid rising power tariffs. Chidi focused on spreadsheets, but his mind wandered to the others from the warehouse. A quick Google on his phone revealed snippets. Chief Mrs. Ebere Nwozu had donated land in Aba to community projects, citing New Year philanthropy. On January 3rd, Emeka arrived from Owerri, crashing on their couch with a bag of fresh ugu leaves from his farm. "Bro, you look like you've seen ghosts," Emeka joked over pounded yam and egusi soup. Chidi confided in him about Victor's message. "It's not over." "Maybe it's just beginning," Lara interjected, her journalist instincts kicking in. She pulled up articles on her laptop. Nairametrics reported Naira at N1 410, reserves up slightly. People are changing. Dr. Musa opened a free clinic in Kano yesterday. January 4th dawned with a light shower, cooling the 24-degree night air. Chidi prepared for Victor's visit, nerves taut. The month was young, but already the past clawed at the present. Victor Adebayo arrived on January 5th in a subdued Prado, not his flashy G-Wagon. They met at a quiet buka near Rumola, ordering catfish pepper soup amid the sizzle of frying plantains. The humidity clung like a second skin, temperatures hovering at 32 to 30. Victor looked changed, eyes shadowed, no designer flair. "The ring burns in my sleep," he admitted. "I sold 2 companies last week. Proceeds to Ogoni cleanup, but it's not enough." Chidi listened, sipping his cold star beer. "Why me?" "You're the proof," Victor said. "You walked away and survived. Teach me how." Over the next hour, Chidi shared his journey, honest work, mentoring youth, small acts of kindness. It's not about empires, it's about legacy. Victor nodded, leaving with a promise. "I'll fund a youth center in Eleme, no strings." As he drove off, Chidi felt a shift, not friendship but understanding. January 6th, Epiphany Day, brought church crowds and reflective moods. Chidi and Lara attended Mass at a local Catholic parish, the priest preaching on redemption. Afterward, Ada called from Enugu, "Mama's dreaming again, ancestors smiling. She says you're blessed." Chidi smiled, but tension built. Kemi Alabi, the Nollywood producer, texted, "Script ready, inspired by your story. Meet January 10th. Work on January 7th involved reviewing CNG conversion audits. Government pushes easing fuel queues, but small firms struggled with import duties. Chidi mentored a new intern, David from Bielsa, teaching him ledger basics. Patience wins, Chidi advised, echoing his own lessons. By January 8th, heavy rain flooded streets, turning roads into muddy streams. Power outages hit, generators roaring. Lara's podcast episode aired, featuring a reformed businessman. Listener's message: inspiring in these tough times. Emeka helped fix a leaking roof, joking, from billionaire to handyman, progress. January 9th, closed with a call from Blessing Okon. Repatriated funds to EFCC, feels right. The group's transformations accelerated, mirroring Nigeria's slow reforms. January 10th's meeting with Kemi Alabi happened via Zoom, her Lagos traffic delayed in person. The film, The Golden, bind, greed, spirits, redemption, she explained. Chidi offered input, make it real, show the emotional toll. Outside, afternoon showers pounded, 33 degrees heat giving way to brief relief. Work intensified January 11th. Chidi's firm secured a contract for solar panel audits amid power crises. Colleagues debated Tinubu's agenda, reserves at $48 billion, but inflation at 18%. Hope deferred, one side. On January 12th, Victor invited Chidi to the youth center, groundbreaking in Eleme. Amid dignitaries and local chiefs, shovels hit earth. Victor whispered, "This is my restitution." Chidi felt pride, not his, but collective. January 13th brought family. Ada visited, bringing Mama Ngozi's prayers. They picnicked by the river, sharing stories. "You saved us without money," Ada said emotionally. January 14th, eve of Remembrance Day, saw tensions rise. News of Chief Nwosu's full land return sparked debates on TV. Corruption, crackdowns echoing. Chidi reflected alone. The humid night air thick with possibility. Armed Forces Remembrance Day, January 15th, dawned somber. Wreaths laid at Liberation Stadium, sirens wailing. Chidi spoke at the Elime Church event. Sacrifice isn't lost, it's seed. Applause rippled. A veteran thanked him. Lara beamed. "You're their voice." January 16th's rain eased. Chidi audited more CNG kits, fuel prices stable. Emeka extended his stay, helping with podcast tech. On January 17th, Dr. Musa called. Clinics thriving, lives saved. The circle's positive ripples spread. January 18th saw economic news. Naira at N1 $4.05, markets buzzing. Chidi helped David with a promotion pitch. Small wins building. January 19th closed with Lara's promotion party. Simple, with friends, jollof rice and laughter. 2 second chances, they toasted. January 20th, Chidi encountered a struggling vendor in Mile 1 Market. Need help? He bought extra, offered business advice. Word spread, more sought him. Work on January 21 involved community outreach, training locals on financial literacy. January 22nd, heavy humidity, 30 degrees. Victor's Foundation partnered with Chidi's firm for workshops. January 23rd, Ada returned home, family bonds strengthened. January 24th, current day, as if the story aligned with reality, brought a letter. Balance restored. Chidi and Lara burned it, ashes scattering. January 25th, 27, quiet days, work, love, normalcy. By January 28th, transformations complete. Chidi walked the waterfront. January 29th, ships gliding, peace settled. January 30th, podcast finale episode, stories of change. January 31st, month's end, reflections deep. And so, the tale closes with profound moral lessons woven from Chidi's journey. Greed's illusion. Wealth promised without effort is a mirage, binding the soul tighter than any ring. True riches flow from honest labor and shared prosperity, not solitary gain. In Nigeria's grind, where reforms promise hope but demand patience, remember, the Niger River nourishes all who respect its currents, not those who dam it for themselves.